Sky, what do you think we're going to see in the matchup? What are the game plans for each of these players?
Dany's probably going to be camping a lot. Trying to abuse how much Snake is just not going to approach. Try and dance around grenades as much as possible. Take advantage of any time Grease Almighty overextends or leaves a little bit of a gap in between grenade pressure. Grease Almighty is going to run in those up tilts, those grenades, get that F tilt.
Yeah,
try and force Dany to come to you.
Definitely big props to Grease Almighty for playing this mid-range, throwing grenades, looking for grabs and aerials, not playing long range because you know that Wolf Blaster is transcendent. You don't want to be in that position where you pull a grenade and you get blasted, because obviously Blaster is going to deal just as much, if not more, than the grenade, and there's no guarantee that the grenade's going to hit after that as well. So
yeah.
Definitely an interesting adaptation here, although now he's playing a little bit further away, and this neutral is definitely, like you said, Dany doing a lot of camping and putting the onus on Grease to get in on top of him. Grease not really feeling the pressure.
With a jab grab, the shield pressure right there into the positioning pressure with the tech chase, not being able to find something off it directly. But
yeah, that was very interesting. Dany waiting to get up off of that tech, making it look like these players play each other weakly with how much they're looking for these just hard reads.
Are not quite sealing the deal, but now is the time for Dany to go in, but getting caught by the grenade in his hand.
Dany, big fan of some of the spicier plays. Is not afraid to go for edge guards, but when you're playing against Snake, you may as well just go for a more simple ledge trap.
Yeah.
Force Snake to go high, and then use your incredibly disjointed aerials to keep him juggled.
Yeah. So like up air, maybe a back air occasionally just to force him to the ledge. But big commitment right there, but Grease Almighty not punishing.
Absolutely. Trying to use the C4, hoping that Dany will jump into it. These players are honestly just fishing very hard. The C4 is in kind of a dangerous spot. Dany's got to be a little bit careful about this ledge trap. And Grease should know where, yeah, exactly, the roll in is going to be the safest option because your C4 is covering it.
Absolutely. Dany's not going to stay right there. Fear of dying. Losing and going down versus Snake. Big deal, because now you're going to get chipped away by grenade. Now you're going to get exploded upon. Now Snake's going to do all this amount of damage to you. Now you got to come to him. Falling out of the F-tilt.
F-tilt hit 1 is hitting because it's... Grease was a little bit too high up for them both to hit, but the Nair shield pokes there, I believe, and suddenly Grease is in a tough spot. Back to ledge. Oh,
that's
great roll read. Back throw's going to kill.
Absolutely.
This is looking pretty good for both players, honestly. They're both playing, I think, their own game plans fairly well. Wolf Blaster is going to hit Snake, trying to crouch. But the F-tilt from Grease Almighty is going to even up the stocks again, and we're back to a 0-0. 2 stocks. Yeah.
This matchup is definitely very interesting, and both these players just keeping it as even as it can be.
It's an interesting matchup because in a lot of Snake matchups, Snake wants to play his own game and force you into it, and the response from Dany is, I'm not going to play any game, actually, and I'm going to make sure that you have to play the game yourself.
Yeah.
And that's just the luxury afforded to you by the threat of Wolf Blaster, not even using it.
Catching that roll with the down smash, you know, just back on the other ledge, on the other side of the continent, still in the same position, you know.
Dany's an advantage monster, reading every option that Grease throws out every time he gets back to stage, and Grease just can't find footing.
Oh, absolutely. This is something that Dany's really known for, is insane advantage state. Just strangle holding. Just never letting go.
Very clear here. Now Grease is trying to play around the C4, but Dany showing that he's very adept at understanding where it is, staying around it, and still punishing any sort of landing option that Grease wants to go for. Until's going to take that stock, and 67% 2 stocks is not exactly where you want to be if you're Grease against Dany. You want Dany to lose a little bit more, and unfortunately, you're not getting the grenade damage trades that you need, and you can't even trade the damage at this point. Wow.
Wow, that was about to be insane.
I want to throw up. That was definitely an option.
Yeah.
Maybe a missed input there.
Maybe. I feel like maybe he wanted to see if he could do something against Dany, because Dany had C4 stuck to him, but I'm not sure.
Back to neutral. Dany's still holding the center stage. Grease trying to weasel his way in with grenades and rolls. Maybe looking for a B reverse fall here. C4 is on the platform. It's actually so far off the platform that it looked like it was a bug. But exploding it does nothing. Dany's back in advantage. Last stock 160%. Grease is looking in a tough spot.
This curtain is really closing right now. Finding that F-tilt, hitting your leg. No more getting off this ledge.
Yep.
You're going to the game more. You're going to game 2.
Short hop, tomahawk, F-tilt. And I think Grease is just feeling too much pressure to perform in that last scenario. I don't think there was a winning choice for Grease. Dany was really covering everything super well.
Yeah, after that first stock, Dany kind of sort of ran away with it. You know, but it's only game 1, you know.
Game 1 is just information.
Absolutely.
We all know that in the fighting game scene. Game 1 is for info. Game 2 and 3 are where we really decide the rest of the set.
Absolutely.
No
Going
stage
back
change,
to
so going back to
PS2,
PS2. Yeah. Running it back.
I respect, you know, you still have the grenade pressure. You have all the platforms. You can put C4 in places where Dany might not be able to approach you as easily.
I love that Dany went in for a little bit of damage, got himself a percentage advantage, and then is camping now again. Going for the circle camping, which is great, but not afraid to hold advantage. And as soon as neutral comes back into play, if you can find a free opening or a tech read, like Dany constantly is, go for it, but otherwise reset neutral. Hold advantage, though. That's obviously Dany's big game plan against every character. holding ledge for a little bit long there, Grease.
I respect it. You know, he got off ledge because he got the timing mix-up. Ooh, wow, sent that way from Cypher, or Rocky.
Oh, Grease, wow, what a great choice. Up tilt catches Dany slipping, I think. Just catching him slipping. And now, for the first time this set, Grease has a stock and percentage advantage.
And there's the dare. Here's the tech chase. Not getting the C4, though. It's a little bit too high.
Falling aerials are going to reset neutral. Dany has the onus to go in now, but he's not afraid to. We saw that Dany loves playing the neutral game, doing some circle camping when he has the advantage, but when he doesn't, he's quick to hop back on. And I don't think Grease was expecting how fast Dany was going to push to get back into this game.
I don't think so either. You know, like you were saying, Grease kind of wants to, and Snake in general wants to play his own game, and when Wolf is like, okay, I'm going to switch from not playing your game to now we're going to start playing a game, and now you're going to have to answer to me. It's really scary, and especially with Dany holding advantage, but just not being able to find the stock right now.
Yeah, and Grease, I don't know why he's not pulling more grenades. I don't think at 205, if you're in center stage, the grenade exploding on yourself is going to kill you. You should just be looking for grenade damage trades until you lose your stock. Yeah. And then continue to look for grenade damage trades. That's the toughest part about playing against Snake, is that you have to deal with if Snake is ahead of you, you're just going to eat damage trades unless you can find a hardcore advantage trade.
Forward air.
Yeah, good forward air to catch the jump. But 91% deficit. Dany's got to force some climbs back.
Yeah. Now, something, I kind of talked about this with like E-Guys and stuff, you know, Wolf tacks on the damage really fast, but you know, it gets really hard to kill sometimes. That's why Grease was able to lift to 200%. Like, Wolf can tack on the damage, but finding that kill, really hard.
Grease camping out there for a little bit, just going for the crouch so the blaster can't hit. That was fantastic. Dany looking for something harsh to try to regain this advantage, and suddenly their percentage is even back up, and Dany is no longer pressed to force an advantage. Just wait for Grease to make some tough mistakes. Although being off stage, good left trap situation, but unfortunately didn't cover roll, and the tables have turned. Grease is on the back foot. Went for a roll read. Yeah, a little bit harsh there, but still ledge trapping incredibly. Neutral get up's going to be caught. Forward throw. Grease is going high. What's the mix-up on the fall? Drop C4, air dodge back to stage. That was fantastic, but Dany's going to hold that advantage. You're really going to have to fight to get every inch of stage back from Dany. Yeah. And Grease did it. He's back to having stage advantage. Dany's forced to use some lasers to try to fish out an option for Grease, but Grease says, I don't need to buy it. I don't need to buy into that.
I don't need to answer to Blaster like that when I can just crawl under it. Take that stage for free, but that Nair, finding the jump off ledge, hitting the strong hit of Nair. Now Dany back in the driver's seat.
137 off stage against Nikita.
Wow.
Is tough. The pressure was too much for Dany to handle, and just barely missed the ledge.
Yeah,
0-0.
Kind of got a little spooked by that Rocky, you know?
Yeah. Now we're going to see a full reset of neutral. Both characters one stock with almost no % on them. They're both just fishing for hits here, trying to see which one of them can get the stage advantage first, and they're both playing honestly a little bit more aggressive than I would anticipate with this fresh reset of neutral. I figured Dany would kind of just hold back a little bit more, force Grease to make some mistakes, as Grease has every time that he goes aggressive at neutral. But instead, Dany's just going to force the issues and say, I'm the better player than you. I'm going to ensure that you have to make right defensive choices. I'm not going to let you off easy.
Yeah, and now Grease stuck at ledge yet again. 108 to his name. Just cannot find an answer.
120% and climbing and disadvantage on ledge again. I feel like Grease has been on ledge this entire set.
It's been really tough. You know, just having to stay in the corner against Dany, in the corner against Wolf in general. Now, Snake is a heavyweight, so you can survive some of those hits, but how much can you survive getting hit by that up tilt?
That up tilt, I mean, DI regardless, I think that was going to kill.
Absolutely.
Great tipper on the up tilt there. Dany understanding positioning under the platforms very well. I don't know what the adaptation is for Grease. I think he's got to fight for a different stage choice, but he actually just goes back to PS2. I think I don't know if it's pride or if he's just deciding that the reason he's losing has nothing to do with the stage, but I think a stage change could have given him a tip of advantage that he might have needed against Dany.
Yeah. I mean, we saw in that game too, it started to work out a little bit, especially during that first stock. Grease was able to kind of warm in a stock lead, but just, you know, at the end of it, Dany brute forcing his way into the driver's seat.
Yep. Now we've got, I mean, what are we, 10 seconds in, and both of these characters are already at ledge. This is such a volatile game where at any moment, both characters can be playing neutral for stage position or playing hardcore advantage, reversal, how do we get back into getting the other person off stage. It's just all over the place. I don't think I've seen at all today the stage, every inch of it, getting used as much as it is right now.
Absolutely. You know, it's probably the least amount I've seen people stay on that Pokeball, you know? But, like, the whole goal on PS2 especially is you want to hold that center stage. You want to be behind those platforms, and just right now they're just trading blow for blow, going stock to this ledge.
Yeah.
Finding that up air, almost killing.
They're at equal percentage right now. A little bit of a scramble in neutral here, trying to fish for who gets the first hit. Oh, wow.
I think
that's
a
bit of a fish.
Commitment.
That was a little far for that. Obviously, if you do a short hop down air as Wolf, you will have enough time to recover with jump and Wolf fire back to stage, fire Wolf back to stage. But if you do a falling down air or jump off and don't start your down air animation until you're below the ledge, you're not going to have a chance to get back. And I think Dany knew that consciously and just went for a reset, but that was a really risky option.
Yeah, I don't know, especially when you're even stocks too, when the price of resetting is just, okay, now we're going to play this game again of who's going to approach who's going to find the first hits where. But now, Grease Almighty, 78% up, a whole stock up, Dany trying to find this kill.
Yeah, Grease definitely is fighting to make this a game 4 at the very least. 172% rate C4. Dany now in disadvantage. You want to start looking for these grenade strings. Oh, wow!
That beat that.
Dany charging the F smash, but Grease calling him out on it and saying, I know what your startup animation is. I'm going to run up tilt, and you're not going to have a chance to. That's 2 stocks up for Grease.
Grease just tried to hit him with the weak one. That's crazy.
Yeah, looking for this ledge trap. Dany's not phased, trying to play it very measured, not going for anything too crazy off stage anymore after he lost that stock to an SD. But even after that great up air to bring the stock for Grease down to 2 stocks.
Like just stabilizing that little bit, but you know,
have a lot more to work on.
Yeah. I mean, we did kind of see in game 2 where Dany did kind of bring it back, but he didn't have this whole stock deficit.
Yeah, Grease is doing the right thing here, I think. Just crouch walking around, waiting for Dany to come in because Dany has to. Not afraid to time out the clock, even with 4 minutes on the clock. Just force Dany to make a mistake. Pull your grenades when Dany comes close. Place your C4 somewhere on a platform or somewhere in between the two of you and just play around your projectiles, play around your traps. And Dany's going to have to make a lot of correct decisions just to get back to even footing.
Absolutely. Just, you know, it's just so tough finding that opening against Snake. Oh, not finding the up tilt right there.
Yeah. Grease goes for those hard reads off of the down throws, which I think is fine whenever up tilt isn't going to be a true option, and especially when you're this far ahead. So I think he's definitely making good choices, but Dany really racking up that damage slowly but surely, getting the up air to kill, and 130%, you know, obviously just one up tilt from Snake will take Wolf out, but you've evened up the stocks, and this is suddenly very doable with Rage.
Absolutely. Rage Wolf, especially Rage Wolf back air, not to play around. You know, if you get hit by forward at ledge right now, this is kill percent.
Oh, disadvantage against Nikita. Nikita, not going to quite take it. Wolf flash back to stage, just barely getting back to stage. Looking for footing again, but Grease playing very patient, waiting for Dany to jump over him, knowing that Dany wants the stage positioning back, catches him with the up tilt, forcing a game 4.
Clean reaction, too. Clean reaction. It's hard to catch Wolf's jump arc like that, too. So it's really impressive. Grease Almighty is ready for it.
Absolutely. Both of these characters very comfortable going back to PS2, understanding that this could go either way. It doesn't really matter what stage they're on. PS2 providing the most leverage for either player to play whatever play style they want, and I think that's entirely reasonable. So Dany running it back here makes a lot of sense, and I think he's just going to try to find that magic that he found in the first 2 games, with a little bit of campy gameplay mixed in with a tiny bit of aggression when needed.
Yeah.
Great spot dodge.
That was really good spot dodge. Yeah, just finding that opening is so huge for Dany, but Grease Almighty has just been shutting it down, especially after that first stock SD. Grease Almighty is just locking it down with an iron fist. Not letting Dany play any sort of games.
Dany's got to get center back if he wants any chance at bringing this back around. But Grease kind of just playing with him a little bit. Grenades in disadvantage and otherwise using F-tilt 1s to keep Dany guessing. And if you can keep Dany guessing, you can keep damage racking, and that's all you really need.
Absolutely. I mean, so far, looking about the same as we've seen in other games where both players' first stock about relatively even. Ooh, not finding the
one again, still making Dany guess, but Dany's starting to catch on to the game and says, this is not a mix-up for you, this is an opportunity for me.
Yeah.
And gets Grease off stage, finds the 2-frame with the down smash.
Yep, and now we're at this point where, you know, can Grease find this stock before Dany starts to really get going? And right now, Dany is going with that grenade conversion and saying, I can do it too.
This is the toughest position to be in as Snake. You can't just trade damage anymore with grenades. You have to find openings that aren't centered around your grenades, and if you're in disadvantage, using grenades is more detrimental to you than it is to the opponent. So you have to change your game plan up entirely, and it looks like Grease is trying to do that. Great C4 placement. I'm not sure if Dany lost track of it. I know I sure did.
That hits everybody. That hit everybody in this event here. That hit everybody.
Yeah, this is stock's evened up. 70% is not too far to climb. All you need is one down air, maybe a couple of F-tilts, and Grease can get back into this game. Still wants to look for grenade trades under the assumption that you can get back to a percentage advantage, or that Wolf is light enough that damage trades are going to favor you regardless.
Yeah.
And Grease is definitely playing measured and safe around that, not using grenades until he's in disadvantage.
You know, just back at ledge yet again, eating a back air, not quite killing though.
Dany with these ledge traps is just volatile. I mean, it's scary. Oh,
that's scary.
Less scary F smash from Grease there. I think you just go for the mortars and try to set up ledge traps, but up tilt's gonna catch the follow.
Yeah.
I mean, Danny's ready for everything.
And yeah, we've seen as soon as he's a stock up, he is just ready to abuse the fact now you got to land into me. Now you're going to be at the ledge. You're going to have to approach me. I'm a character that as soon as you oh my god, does that kill?
That was such an early stock almost, but we still got a little bit more of this set to play. Grease is not out of it just yet.
All right, got 100% to make up. Grease was in this position before, but and now it's flipped. And it is Snake not exactly the best at bringing back deficits. Can definitely do it, but it's a little hard.
Yeah, for all the reasons that we mentioned, this is going to be difficult for Grease to come back from. He can't play around his grenades as much. He's got to play around either spaced projectile traps or fishing for reads with your grounded options. You're not going to be able to get good out-of-shield options against Wolf, who's going to be spacing all of his aerials. So you've just got to fish for some of these grounded damage choices if you want any chance of coming back in this. However, Dany's charging up this down smash, not going to quite take it, but it's only going to take one more read. If you're at ledge, I believe back throw is going to kill Grease, but doesn't even matter when the up tilt comes out. That's about the 4th time this set Dany caught Grease falling with an up tilt, and that's